This episode of WoW Weekly is brought to you by WoWweekly.net, your source for Warcraft and Blizzard news, guides, and editorials.
This week in Warcraft, we're still here, episode 29, part 2. LJ and Matt are still here. Welcome, guys.
Hello!
Hi!
So, let's continue. Last time, really yesterday, for when this one gets put on YouTube, we talked about the cutting of abilities for every class. We're going to continue on the subject of abilities, and this time we're going to be talking about the leveling perks that you get when you level in Draenor. So, what's going to happen is, from level 91 to 99, every time you level up, you're going to get one of the perks. There's a list of perks per profession, per specialization, and you're going to get one of the one of them at random, which you don't have yet. So, one person might get perk A when they get to level 91, another person might get perk, well, C or D when they get to level 91. Now, if we've all had a look at the perks now. What do you guys think of these perks? Are they great? Are they just okay? How do they feel to you? Matt, let's have you start off this time.
So I completely zoned out there for a minute. I was like sitting there watching everything, the world going. But the skills and leveling up what we've just spoke about 20 seconds ago.
Mm-hmm.
You mean that thing?
Yeah, the perks.
I don't know.
We should stop giving him weed, man.
I know, man.
Right.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It looks like I've not had enough time to fully digest. But
well, mine are pretty awesome. I'll just take it over here.
Yeah, sure. Go for it, LJ.
You take it.
I'm just looking at them, and basically, well, as a paladin, of course, you're gonna level Retribution because if you go holy, or protection is also possible, but holy is a bit dungeons. But Retribution is just basically everything does more damage. So, I mean, what's the not to like? Exorcism, 20% more damage. Hammer of Wrath, instead of 20%, can be used on targets below 35%. More damage for Crusader Strike. It's just make it a lot easier. Also, the more healing you get from Flash of Light, because you can heal yourself with that if you take a certain talent with it. I mean, it's just makes it a lot more enjoyable, I think. But I think there's also downside because it's going to be maybe a bit different and weird if you're level 100 and then you want to start doing stuff and then it's all of a sudden, oh my god, I'm shit. And then try and compensate for that. But I think it's nice to actually emphasize that on the leveling and get that, well, maybe not over with, but over with a smile.
Yeah.
Going back to me now. Hey, remembered.
Hey.
I'm looking at it again, and the actual Moonkin chain or little things look pretty cool. They do look really quite nice. The Moonkin ones does. The healing ones, I think they were talking about trying to make healers a bit more. What was the word? Dual interested, so they can do a little bit of DPS and stuff like that on fights as well. I think I've been hearing that. I'm probably not. I'm hoping I'm not going slightly insane.
More than usual.
More than usual. So, like, the first couple are just DPS increases. And you're sitting there going, oh, I'm a healer. And you're increasing my DPS. Yeah.
Well, it's nice if you want to level with it, but do you want to level with it?
Yeah, I'll be leveling as chicken, as normal. There are a few buffs in there. You could, something else which I've just noticed, which is interesting. But that is some instant now rebirth. But I don't know. It doesn't make me seem extremely exhilarated at the moment. I just know Restoration Boomkin. Boomkin looks pretty cool. Restoration just leaves a bit of a sour taste in my mouth at the moment.
Okay, well, looking at these perks, I'll talk about the hunter ones in a minute. Um, what I really like about these is they kind of bring back the feeling of the earlier talent systems, where every time you level, you get a little bit more powerful, and you can really see that back in these perks now. Although more than just a little bit, 20% extra damage on a spell is not just a little. So I really like these. But for the hunters, there's actually some utility in them. Do you guys have no utility perks?
I'm just looking, but nothing really utility. I mean, for healing, it's basically all the healing is increased. For DPS, it's all the DPS is increased. I'm just going over the protection ones now. I mean, okay, Adventure Shield strikes 2 additional targets. That's pretty nice. But for the rest, it's more damage, more chance to block, more damage.
Yeah, that's what pretty much mine are. There's nothing really utility about it. And the main thing is that rebirth instance, because I think they've realised. Awesome. I think they've realised that 90% of, hopefully 90%, hopefully most druids link that with nature's swiftness anyway. So make it an instant cast. So that's not going to change the play. It's just going to probably, hopefully, utilise that spell a little bit better. But the rest of it is just regrowth gets quite a nice little gets a big boost actually, like 30%. I think that's probably to take into the fact we've not got nourish anymore, and I use a spell when it doesn't have the non-periodic healing on it anyway, so that's probably going to be nice for me. But a lot of the other stuff for the druids it looks a bit based around healing touch, which is not really used. I don't use it that much, but I probably will have to. And healing tanks really. You've got to look here. Healing touch has a 20% increased crit chance on targets with life bloom. Tanks. Iron bark also increases healing of targets received from your periodic healing spells. Tanks. So it's all that type of thing. So we shall see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for hunters, especially for survival hunters, for all hunters are going to get when they are in camouflage, they heal for 5% of their health per second. That's already amazing. But then for survival hunters, another talent perk, you will now stay in camouflage even while dealing damage and taking damage. So basically in combat, you can go into camouflage and heal yourself up. Now, I believe in combat it lasts for 6 seconds, and the cooldown is 1 minute. So every minute, survival hunters will be able to heal themselves for 30% of their health. So that's pretty awesome, as far as being a hunter goes.
I believe once upon a time you wanted a healing spec. There you go.
I would like to see a hunter healing spec, yes, and a hunter tanking spec. But that aside, a lot of damage increases, of course, but also still some utilities, such as reducing the cooldown of traps by 50% for survival, for marksmanship, adds an additional 5 yards to all your attacks with the baseline 40-yard range. So instead of 40-yard range, marksmanship hunters will have a 50-yard range. So that's pretty cool. Increased focus.
Just a quick going back to that. Is it really that cool? Because how many fights nowadays do you really need that extra 10?
All right. Nowadays that's not so great, but with the mythic modes incoming, they can do more fun stuff.
Yes, we're going to have.
That's the goal of mythic.
We're going to have a room the same size as a floor from Diablo.
Exactly. So 45-yard range, awesome. But
that extra 5 yards, man. Woohoo!
I remember the day when hunters had a minimum range.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
That was horrible.
Those days were amazing.
Those days were horrible.
Those days weren't even that long ago, I feel.
I can remember the days when I used to often see melee hunters. It was amazing. Was it Raptor Strike?
Yeah, Raptor Strike.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I think we had it either up to... Yeah, we had it up to Cataclysm, didn't we? And Raptor Strike was then used as... if you did it, you could glyph it so that you would get a 20% damage reduction.
Because the amount of time I could see, I used to remember that used to be back in the day. I used to love it seeing hunters argue for like all rogues' weapons continuously. Look, it's one of my weapons, but it's not your primary one. So,
all weapons are hunter weapons.
Yeah.
When will you people understand?
Never. We refuse to understand.
Yeah. Getting back to perks, survival has a lot of utility actually. Also increasing the additional damage that needs to be done before breaking the root from entrapment. So, yeah, at least for survival hunters and marksmanship a tiny bit as well. A lot more utility than compared to the paladins and druids. So, yeah, from my perspective, I'm really looking forward to them because of the power up every level, which I definitely missed. And just more awesomeness. I can heal myself soon. Yes!
Finally don't have to heal you anymore.
You haven't healed me for ages, so shut up.
That was even during the raids.
Oh, yeah. Exactly, so
yeah,
what does it matter?
We have 2 hunters in our raid. I just make sure I heal the other one.
It's okay, I'll survive myself.
I can heal myself. Yay!
Yay!
Well, it's alright. Healers aren't going to be able to heal anyone in the expansion anyway.
Oh, true.
We're going to sit there being in the corner crying that we've lost our mana regen. They didn't know what they were doing. We're just going to be crying in tears and depression.
And then the second week we're all going to be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, because then we've all gotten used to it.
And the second week, everything's either been nerfed or we've got used to it.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Let's move on. I think that's a good, safe thing to do.
Yep.
And when you look and you look at patches and there's stuff you don't realise, this is unfortunate to people. People will read this and we go to other websites to get information as well. There's part from WoWD.net. But there's another website which we look at as well. Have you seen the weapon at the top of the website that's highlighted in orange and what it's called?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. The fudge hammer.
So,
where can I get it?
It was amazing.
Yeah. that looks. I want it. Just
Legendary weapon of War. Sorry, it just makes me chuckle. Warlord Blackhand and his fudge hammer.
Oh yeah. And notice it's item level 600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legendary weapon of Warlord Bloodhound. Legendary stats derived from its name, not its power. The fudge hammer. Okay.
Yep.
+2 attack power. Yeah, that's definitely going to do it.
Yep, definitely. That's why it's legendary, man.
Yep.
So let's really move on. While data mining, MMO Champion found a string for basically things to queue in like heroic dungeons and stuff like that for the group finder. Now there's one string that was quite interesting. Random Time Walker dungeon. That sounds like a possible feature that hasn't been announced yet. Something we have talked about in the past.
Yep.
Could be that extra 6 months we're talking about.
For something they already had majorly implemented, and you could get into with a bug.
Yep.
Yeah. 6 months, guys. Terrific.
It would be nice. I think there is a list of how many dungeons there will be. It does look. So I always think the best leveling experience for me, and I think for you, we've gone on about it, God knows how many times, was TBC.
Yeah.
Because I think they got the level of dungeons perfect in TBC. I just think they got the variation of them spot on.
Yep.
And then at max level, you can do the more heroic, and they went in the same level of hardness on heroic as well. They weren't all just one level. And I just really, really enjoyed it. And I think maybe if I've seen it does look like they might be going similar back to that. Let's hope. And that will be very, very good.
Well, I guess because there's only going to be 6 new dungeons being released in Warlords of Draenor Of although I guess those are all heroics, and there were a few leveling ones as well.
I think
But
yeah.
one of them was the Blackrock Spire, so rehashed quote unquote content in one of them. So what would really be a nice addition in the leveling experience is to have the Time Walker dungeon thing, and go to all the dungeons and do them on level appropriate gear, basically. You okay, LJ?
Yeah. Sorry, just getting messages as well at the same time. So.
Okay. But
'Cause you
getting level appropriate, well, I guess, going to level, what is it? 15, for example, for dead mines, all the dead mines. So that would be awesome, but then still get experience for completing that, for leveling up from 90 to 100. It would really give more diversity to the leveling experience. I think that's
Yeah.
the best way to describe it.
Yeah. It makes everything. It keeps old stuff current, but it also gives you a lot more in-depth choice to how you want to level and what you want to do.
Exactly.
So I think that's a very, very good decision if they want to implement it like that, because it just makes it a lot more fun,
Yeah,
basically. So yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say.
It's something we've discussed in the past, and it's just something we would all really like to see, and I hope they then bring it to raids later as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all the stuff as far as the alpha goes. So, seeing as we have some time, let's discuss the community reaction to everything. Lots of changes going on, some raging here and there. Of course, the need or wanting for more information as well. How do you guys... has the community taken this well? The things we've discussed in part 1 and now part 2 as well. LJ?
Yeah. I think that's difficult to say. I mean, like I said before, that we need to wait on what is being said, what's being done. I mean, a lot of people will say a lot of things as soon as they see them at face value, which is wrong. So I mean, I don't know what to say, to be honest. It's difficult to say. Like, of course, people will say A now, but in a week's time they may say B or C. So yeah, Matt, your time to jump in this time.
Yeah, I'll jump in, help out this time. Okay, we've got to look at the 2 point of views. There's the people who have completely agree and think these are brilliant changes, we love them, blah blah blah. But the main issue we're going to have is the skills going out and skills being lost. People are going to be short. The mana skills, for one, they're going to cause a bit of an issue because, as I've said before, only I think three of the healing classes have had their mana cooldowns taken away. The other two haven't. And if you look between the lines, that means for me that every single raid you're going to have a Resto Shaman, no matter what. That is going to be the ultimate setup of healing. A Resto Shaman and then just other people to do around. But as we said, that is only alpha, and this will happen. Is it oversimplification? I don't know. We don't know what they're looking for. I think, Mezza, you said they took a skill away from you that was a skill that was actually quite useful. You did use it, but wasn't needed all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas, from what I've seen so far, Druids, apart from Innovate, as I said, it's been there since dawn of time. It's there all the time. Nourish, for me, as a healer, is a skill I very rarely use. You've got other skills that do the job better, quicker, or more useful at the time. We've got too many other things that we can use to keep people up. So, yeah, I understand that. Symbiosis, it's a fun spell. The reason I believe they're taking it away is the fact that it was meant to be a defensive cooldown.
Yeah.
Because most of our skills we got from other people were defensive cooldowns. And I can't remember, I think they said something regarding the fact they don't want us to have it, or they're going to have other ones, or something stupid along those lines. I can't remember exactly what they said. But I quite like it. I think it's just a little fun spell. I'm pretty gutted that's going. As we've only had it for a very long expansion, it's seeming. But yeah, people are, unfortunately, World of Warcraft is a very, very well populated game, very well liked game. But as our podcasts go, and we do moan a fair bit on our podcast, but I think we're quite fair in our annoyance.
We analyze it.
Yeah, we analyse. I think we're quite fair in our annoyance. There are certain people who will look at that and just go, "I hate you."
Yeah, that's accurate.
Unfortunately, we have to live with those people on this game, and most of them try to raid. Most of them are in LFR most weeks. They're the people now probably moaning. Those people, I'll tell you exactly who it is moaning. Remember, everybody's had the experience. You go into an LFR, you're an experienced raider, so you think, I'll keep quiet, I'll just chill, relax. And you'll have the one raider that's been there, done it all, and he's bottom of healing, DPS, or the worst tank you have ever seen. It is that type of person.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's with also after with like just people being people, basically. I mean, they don't have to be the smartest, just the person that yells the most and the loudest, and then that's the one that gets hurt.
Yeah, so I said earlier, my personal opinion is it probably is going a little bit too simple. They've almost said, this is me as a healer saying this. I don't know if the whole game's going to be oversimplified, because I think Mezzy will agree, DPS-wise, there are a fair few skills you don't use, never seen, probably don't need, and streaming it all down is actually a good thing.
Yeah.
But as a healer, it's almost like then that it just seems like they're trying to very, very oversimplify the way healers are meant to heal. You are not expected to get people to full health. You will gradually get them up to health. The nerfing output and that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It almost feels like we're being told how we have to play.
Well, isn't the whole crux of it with you have to make the decision high output, or it was with high output and then
I think it was mana? Yeah, it was efficiency over output. Or
exactly.
Like
so
but
that's where your choices are going to be.
It won't be though, because unfortunately with the way he heals, you have to find the best combination between two, no matter what you're doing, no matter how you're healing. If it gets to a situation where in a 10-minute fight, because we have no mana combat now, they are meant to be sorting that out. But if some fights are 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 7 minutes, 8, say a 5 to 10 minute fight,
yeah,
are they going to take into account what's going to happen to those? Are you telling me in a 5-10 minutes fight, all I can do to make sure I've got mana for that entire fight is use my efficient spells, not my output spells? Because then I'm just going to be moaned at because my output's not going high enough. We need to see how it goes. I can see where people are going. The only thing I'm worried about is the healing aspect of it. Yeah, it needs to be more explained where they want to go. And hopefully, people, once they play it a little bit more, once they get into it, once they see what's happening, will start to moan. But you've got to, as we've said this before, there's a lot of very, very frustrated people out there at the moment, and this is the first thing they've said. And it's you've got to give them give them credit where credit's due. It is quite a detailed first bit of information to give out.
Yeah, 33 pages is quite a lot.
33 pages, quite a lot for a first post. But then again, you also have to say it's about fucking time.
Yeah, how long have we been without information? Like a month?
Yeah. Well, about a month without any proper information. And it's good they've released it yesterday, a couple of days after April Fool's Day, because that was frustrating.
Yeah.
It was funny, frustrating.
Didn't the Elder Scrolls just launch? I'm sure they just waited for that.
Yesterday or something.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Elder Scrolls official launch date was yesterday.
Yeah. So on the official launch date of possible competition, they released the alpha patch notes.
But unfortunately, I think it's maybe back. I hope it doesn't, but I think it might backfire in the hands of. We're in a situation now where there's actually 2 or 3 very, very good games coming out soon. There's Elder Scrolls out now, and I've got that. I'm playing it at the minute. It's all right, nice little game. I'm quite enjoying it. And there's, I think I've told Mezzy about it, been piping on about it for a while. WildStar's coming out, I think, in June, which is another NC Soft one, which don't have the greatest history on the planet of online games. But that looks very, very good. It looks completely different to WoW. And it's very, very hard to say that about MMOs nowadays.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It does look. It takes the cartoony graphics to a whole new level. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
And
sure.
that's come out in June. So you've got two big hitters. They're not WoW killers. Nothing can be WoW killers at the moment. But you've got two. Elder Scrolls is an iconic thing that's out, and then you've got WildStar, which looks different, which people may play. I've watched it. The play style, I've never seen anything like that. You might have seen stuff like that. I tell you what, I have seen that's like that, and I told out is an old add-on that got banned or got broke a while ago. Good old AVR. Do you remember that?
Olog, how can we forget?
I know. How can you forget? Imagine the whole game mechanics of basically around those tags of where stuff hits, where stuff not. It's the game's basically about movement. It looks really cool. It looks quite cool, nicely done. It's a bit gimmicky. So yeah, let's just hope that they've still got the player base and. I'm not saying this is going to go drastically down, but they've still not helped out with their estimated release date of December.
No. But I guess what we could say for Blizzard as a whole, and not just WoW, is Reaper of Souls has completely turned around how Diablo was. From being, well, let's be honest, pretty crappy to pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And Heroes Technical Alpha, I'm sure that will continue getting people interested in that. Hearthstone on the iPad is out now. Also, the official first season has started on the PC version. So if you get to at least rank 20 in ranked play, you'll get the Pandaren card backs. I know I'm promoting things from Blizzard now, but these are really cool things. So it's not like Blizzard doesn't have anything going for them. It's just... Yeah. In the WoW department, they've lacked for, well, months and months now.
Yeah, they do seem to be slacking, but we shall see.
Exactly. Any final thoughts before we sign off for the week?
No, I think that's it for me.
Yeah, same here. I mean, let the information, the stream coming, and we'll see what we get out of it and see what eventually happens.
Blizzard, give us the blog posts, the patch notes, and alpha invites, please. Alright. Thanks to the viewer for watching. If you enjoyed our podcast, please comment, subscribe, click the like button. Let us know in the comments what you think about your class changes, the perks, and just the general changes going on in Warlords of Draenor. You can also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/WoWweekly and at Twitter at twitter.com/bbmezzy. You can of course also check out our site, and please do. It's wowweekly.net, where we post articles, occasionally an editorial, and just Blizzard-related news when there's something awesome like the Hearthstone stuff or Heroes of the Storm. I'd like to thank my co-hosts for joining me tonight. Thank you, Matt, for joining.
Thank you very much. It's been fun.
Yeah, glad to have you back. LJ, thanks for joining us.
As always, glad.
As always. I thought, let's not say that this time. But,
well, I've been here almost every time now, I think. I think every time, so, I mean...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
29 episodes.
Yeah, you've dragged me through a lot.
Oh well, deal with it.
I am. That's why I have a good psychiatrist. But see you next week.
Yeah, I'm Mezzy. Thanks for watching. Until next time.